Okay. So you're all out there shooting away, which is fantastic. Awesome. I'm going to talk a little bit about just how to organize that footage. So you're out there shooting, you come to your computer, and you put in your SD card or your compact flash card, and you have this card here, right? This is from the camera, and you locate your stuff that you shot. Oh, it is. It says yesterday, but I know it's today. It's just a little time warp. And so let's say I shot a bunch of stuff, but I know there's only one. I know there's really only one thing I want from today. So I'm going to come over to my desktop. I'm going to make a new folder. It's the first day of shooting, but I'm going to title it the name of my film, which is called Heist. Okay. And then inside of Heist, I'm going to make another folder. It's going to be day one. Okay. And then I'm going to take that. I know I want number 22. I'm going to bring it over here and put it in day one. Okay. And then I'm going to go get some sound. Okay, no, I need some sound. So there's my Zoom recorder. And I know I just want this file from today. So I'm going to bring that over and also put that in day one. And that didn't quite go into day one, so I'm going to put it into day one. Make sure that goes in day one. Okay, so now what I have on, now I don't need these cards anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and eject them so I don't get confused and import any files from them into Premiere, which will cause me severe stress down the road. So right now I have two files from day one. Day one wasn't the best day. We got one shot that worked. Not true, but anyway, for this demonstration. So there's day one. Okay, and it's in my Heist folder. When I shoot again tomorrow, I will make another folder, and it will be day two. Okay, but right now, when we go to Premiere, I've already started a new project here. Okay, and I'm going to import day one. I'm going to go find it on the desktop. Heist, day one, import. Okay, so therefore I have it down here in my media. I got day one. Now this is the next step we're going to do. I'm going to take day one, the video. I'm going to double click it. I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way. I'm going to look for the slate, right? And in this case, I'm going to look for the slate that's a clap. So this guy claps. I don't know who this guy is. So I'm looking for his clap. There it is. Now this is interesting. The peak over here, it did peak over here on that, even though I haven't quite clapped yet. And that often happens. But I'm going to go ahead and hit M. Okay, and I'm going to bring this down into my project. Okay, and then I'm also going to name, this. So I brought this into a sequence, right? And here's my sequence. That's a sequence icon. I'm going to name this sequence Scene 5 Synced because I know, this is Scene 5, and I'm going to use this to sync it, okay? Now, I could also organize this footage. Instead of day one, I could say Scene 5, right? Scene 5 audio. Since we only did one scene today, I just did this. But you could also say if day one has 3 different scenes, in each one you would put the scene number, and the audio and the video from that scene, okay? So here I've got it synced, right? It's not synced yet, so I'm going to go and I'm going to look for the clap on the sound. Now, there's not a lot of dialogue in this, so it's pretty easy to see where the clap is, right? So you hear me call it. Okay, so I go back. I use the little arrows down here to look for that. Seems to be the peak, so I hit the M there. And then when I bring this down into audio 2, right? Look at that, it matches up. And let's see how in sync it is. So they're a little bit off, right? They're a little bit off, so I could zoom in here and get really specific and figure out how they're off, right? And I can see it. Oh, they're off a little bit, right? So if I highlight this, right, and I I hold down Command and I hit my arrows, I can get them so they're together, and then it's in sync. Boom. So we're in sync, right? The other way to get them in sync is if I put it back so it's a little bit out of sync, right? I could, this thing's getting in my way a little bit. I could highlight the whole thing, right-click it, and go to Synchronize. And go to Audio, right? Because it's gonna sync up based on the audio, and hit OK. Now, could not synchronize one or more clips in the current selection because match could not be found. That's because there's so little sound in this, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just go back to the way it was. Bring it back in. I know it was a little bit over like this. I did this, I think it was 3 frames. 1, 2, 3. Is that it? Let's see. A little bit off, zoom in. So you will be able to use that synchronize tool if you have quite a bit of dialogue, okay? So now I'm all in sync. This is all in sync. I put it back the way it needs to be. You can also make these bigger so you can really see the waveform, so you can, it help, really identify stuff. You can see that this is all lined up, okay? And then it's also interesting to sort of hear the difference in the sound, right? Now this is a scene with some guys crawling, right? So let's listen. This is with both sounds. Now let's turn off the camera sound, hit mute. Ooh, way better, right? Way, 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 way better. So you can go in here, you can unlink them, and you can disable this, right? You can also even get rid of it if you want, right? You could highlight it, delete it, then move, then what I would do is you would link these, right? And then move this up. So it's all in sync. Right? Oops. Now you gotta unmute that. Okay, and then we have this good sound. Right? Now, here's the super, super duper cool thing we're learning today. Eventually you'll have a number, of shots, and they'll all be synced, right? You'll sync them one at a time down here, and in your scene 5 synced sequence, you'll have a bunch of these. Now, you can then take that sync sequence and bring it up into your source window, right? And once it's up in your source window, you can, oops, don't do that. Once it's in your source window, you can start another, you come over here, new item, new sequence. And this one's going to be scene 5 edit. Okay? And then I double click that, and there's nothing there. But as I go up into here, I can use my 3-point editing, right? I can find the part where I want to start, right? I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it. I want to start right in here. So I put an in mark, right? And I know I have some close-ups of them crawling, so I just want them crawling until they stand up. As soon as they stand up, I want to get out. So I hit the out mark, I grab this, I bring it down, and that's in my edit sequence, okay? So it's a great way. You will always then have your sync sequence back where it needs to be, right? And in general, you can organize this if you want. Sometimes I'll make a bin of edit sequences and sync sequences. Sometimes I'll make a bin just of scene 5. And in scene 5, I will have the sync sequence and I'll have the edit sequence. That's usually the way we'll do it, right? We'll make a new bin, just right click on that, scene 5, right? Put everything in scene 5. And the scene and the sync sequence. So boom, and that you have that for every one of your scenes. Okay? All right, this is good stuff. Organization is everything. You need to always be in very good working order with your bins, your sequences, all of this stuff in order to make sure that you don't have glitches down the road. Now, as you guys are shooting, I really want to encourage everyone to start buying SD cards at the bookstore. They have 32 gig fast SD cards because that's your best way to back stuff up. We don't have enough SD cards to back it up on the SD card. But if you go there, now we're getting into more serious projects, go there, buy a card, it's like 15 bucks, and you can shoot and then keep using that card, and that card will have your footage in case something goes on with the computers. Okay? All right, over and out.